Like, dude, I remember I used to be working in the lab for like 8 hours at a stretch, and I used to listen to fucking mariachi music, and that shit is so peppy as fuck. Like, the tune gets stuck in your head. It may sound constant at first, it's like fit tit 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 tit, see, and like then when you start listening to it and when you start figuring out the lyrics and stuff, you're like, holy shit, man! It's like it's amazing.
Yeah, no,
It's
dude. When we first moved to LA, we were like crashing at a friend's place, and we were in Koreatown in LA, and our neighbors right next to us. I mean, everybody was starting to quarantine, right? So everybody was just like staying home. But our neighbors, it was like some Mexican people, but every day they would be blasting mariachi music, and we'd be like hearing it through our windows and all that shit. So like I was on that for like 4 months,
yeah,
just listening to their mariachi music.
yeah. Mariachi music is tight. Like it's just like it'll just be three people just singing with the guitar, and it's always live, and it's always amazing.
Yeah,
This
the
mariachi
vocalists and the
music
guitarists are always just going so
just like
crazy.
just like yeah, and it's like it kind of sounds it's weirdly arousing. Like it's just weirdly arousing at one point. I'm just like,
I mean, I
wow.
would.
So
Well,
yeah,
I
so
guess on that note, we can talk about, I guess the bad things we see in the music industry. I get the music industry as a whole, basically, just the problems that we see. And I guess I can just start off real quick. One
Okay.
thing I do know about the music industry, and I'm not sure you can attest to this, but it's just the contracts you sign with these big label companies, and I think like Time Warner or I think Universal Music Group owns like so much, and a lot of these companies are monopolies. And really, I mean, back in the day, they would screw you out of the deal real quick, and because people wouldn't like, I think NWA was a big was huge when that happened. When Ice Cube, he was screwed out of all the stuff he wrote for that group. It ended up
yeah,
breaking out because it wasn't just working out for him. He wasn't getting paid for the work he was putting into the group. And a lot of these big record companies, they're not going to give you I forget what it's called, but what's it called, the master tape.
royalties,
Yeah, or the
royalties.
master.
Yeah, basically the master tape. So like, if somebody were to play your music, since if you as artists own your own master tape, that means you will get all the money that somebody plays from your music. You will get that, and that's something a lot of record companies do not want to give you. And if you're using music, like I think one of our videos got copyrighted for some music we were using, they're quick to throw down a copyright label against you if you're a YouTuber or a streamer using music, and they're so quick just to mute parts of your stream because you're using their music. And I'm just like, music's supposed to be shared and listened to for everybody. You shouldn't monopolize it to the point where I can't even sing a happy birthday song on my stream for my viewers, or I can't sing happy birthday out in public because I might get a 50 cent, I might get charged with a copyright strike. So yeah, it's just the big conglomerates. I understand you guys got to make your money. They're your big, huge industries, but damn, y'all like monopolies and gang members, like loan sharks. Like, man, I saw you use my song earlier, man. Where's my cut, huh? Let me break some kneecaps real quick. So yeah, that's. I'm not sure if you can attest to this, but yeah, like the music industry, I understand for a lot of young upcoming artists, getting that first big deal is amazing, but read the fine print. Make sure that you will get royalties. You're not getting screwed out of your deal. You're not forced into making 6 albums, and they're actually going to help you produce and market your stuff. Because most of the times, I remember Drake. He's an artist who's very well known for hiring, big time, not really big time, but I remember I Love McConan. He was a pretty happening artist, but he got signed to OVO, but he hasn't done much because Drake has used him to make his music, not helping him making his own music. So
Oh, really?
yeah, and when when I Love McConan came out as gay, Drake decided to distance himself from him
For
because
real?
unfortunately in the hip hop rap scene, it's very masculine to the point of being toxic masculinity, and
Yeah, right.
and 2014, 6 years ago, when this I think happened around 2014, 2015, when he came out as gay. People didn't want to listen to his music because they thought they might become gay if they listen to his music, but really it's not how that works. Like literally, like, you'd be surprised. Like like when Frank Ocean came out as gay, a lot of black people were just like, "Fuck, man, I was having sex to that song, a lot of his music and stuff like that, and now he's gay." I'm like, damn, do I am I gay? You know, I it sounds stupid. It sounds stupid right now, but a lot of my friends back in high school and listening to his music were kind of questioning themselves, like, damn, am I gay or something? But
yeah,
no,
I mean, that whole attitude definitely shifted literally during like our high school. I would say like that is
Yeah.
actually when it all changed. Like 2010 was definitely a different time than 2016.
yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, so
I mean, you go, Mo.
Yeah, no. So, another thing which I was thinking about is like, Kesha, she was literally screwed out of like her deal and stuff, and like that was something I think it was with Sony Music or it was Universal Music, one of the
Def
two.
Jam.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah, so it was Sony Music Group then.
Sony Music Group, yeah, it was Sony Music Group where she was forced to write music for them, and her producer used to abuse her, and very toxic. Essentially, and she wasn't paid she wasn't paid well, and it was I mean literally during her trial there were pictures of her like crying and stuff and like pleading with the judge that just get me out of this deal somehow, and like it just caused so many problems for her. And like I think one thing which Brad mentioned that it's just like it's always great to like the first deal, like this first deal with this big conglomerate, and you're going to be producing music now, and but yeah, don't forget to read the fine print. But yeah, so like I mean, like now that you mentioned that, Brad, Drake has been accused of like stealing people's flows, and like I mean, Meek Mill literally had a beef with him about the same thing. Like it was back to back, was literally a beef that just went hard between Drake and Meek Mill. Because Meek Mill said like, yeah, I don't fucking steal other people's flows, and I definitely don't make them write songs for me. And he was talking about the exact same thing. And like, of course, now Meek Mill and Drake have patched. Yeah, Drake and Meek Mill patched up, and in their recent album Championships, they even had a song called "Going Bad." And I was listening to it, and I was like, yo, Drake's flow is pretty fucking average. Like, if you think about it, his flow is pretty average. Like, I'm just like, he's like, back home smoking legal. I got more slaps than the Beatles. I'm just like, really?
Yeah, no,
like,
Drake
that's
is a
it?
culture vulture, man. Like he's like Drake is chameleon. Like he stole, like he's trying to get a British voice, a Jamaican accent. He's gone all over the spectrum, which is his music and style. I'm like, okay,
yeah, and like he did it.
he
He did
still
the same
like
thing
he gets
with-
artists and signs them and steals their sound.
He did it with Bad Bunny in MIA, and I was just like, I'm like, bro, what the fuck? You're not even Latin. Like, what the fuck? And he's singing in Spanish, and I was like, I mean, I can get with that. Like, it's just like, Will Smith did it also with like Mark Anthony and Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico, and I'm like, okay, fine, works for me. I mean, I want to see the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air get lit, and I'm okay with that. But like, dude, like fucking, and like when I compare, like Drake, like and like Drake's original album, you remember, Just Hold On, We're Going Home. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, just please go home. Write
That's
something.
a good one, though. That's a good one.
I
That's a
hated that song.
classic.
I still hate that fucking song because every time I listen to it, I like, okay, so like every time I listen to it, like the image that comes to my mind is this viner called Melvin Gregg who used to imitate Drake, and he does an on point imitation mimicry of Drake, and he imitates him like like Drake does that, like he does this handshaking thing where he's like, just hold on, we're going home, and it's the funniest fucking thing. And every time I hear that song, that's the imagery that comes to my mind. I'm just like, I'm out of here. Like, Start From the Bottom, Now We're Here is a great song. I like that song, but like his more recent, like his entire Scorpio album is just so fucking trash. I'm just going to diss it because I hated that album so much.
Yeah, I mean,
More ties.
each of those albums in the last like 5 years, they were like 3 or 4 maybe good songs, maybe like 1 or 2
Yeah.
major hits, but then otherwise it's like formulaic. Yeah.
You could tell which one were the club hits and which one were the ones that it was sad Drake coming out because he drank too much Hennessy.
Very purposeful.
Yeah, he just drank too much Hennessy, smoked up a bunch of ganja, and he's like, okay, I'm just going to write some shit song, and I'm going to put some kill. Like, One Dance is a great song. I like the
Yeah, that's a great one.
the Jamaican. I like the Jamaican thing which comes in, and I was like, because that kind of gave me the full Kevin Little, uh, uh, Kevin Little songs that let me hold you, go caress my body. I'm gonna take you home tonight. Something. That's the name of the song. I keep forgetting the name of the song. But yeah, that kind of gave me that full Jamaican, that the Barbados, the kind of that entire Caribbean vibe, and like this full dancey vibe. And then he came out with like fucking Hotline Bling, and I'm just like, the fuck. Like Hotline Bling turned into a meme so fast, I lost count. Like it's just like
he stole that beat from a person named Drama. The song was "I Like to Cha Cha."
Yeah, but didn't they like find some peace on that? Weren't they chill by the end of it all? I don't know.
Yeah, he must have paid. He must have just paid to settle that.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I mean, he originally released that as like a SoundCloud track, so in that case, it could have been perfectly fine. Like he wasn't going to profit off of it if it was just streaming on SoundCloud. But then everything changed after that. Maybe he dealt with it the wrong way.
Yeah, and even him and XX with KMT and Look at Me Now, like those flows are very like similar, and people have commented like you stole this dude's flow and everything like that.
He stole, like, I remember Chameleonaire coming on a podcast, and he was talking about Drake stole "Kiss Me Through the Phone's" flow, like the entire song "Kiss Me Through the Phone" of Chameleonaire, or is it? No, sorry, Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy.
My
bad. I'm sorry. I always get confused between the two, because
word for word, bar for bar.
Yeah, exactly. So like Soulja Boy, man, and like Soulja Boy was such a high school thing for all of us, and it throughout the globe. I'm not gonna lie, like the moment anybody says Soulja Boy itself, like the first thing that comes to mind is Superman, So
that's what you respond to them with.
Yeah, Superman. It's like,
okay, I have a question.
Like that's it.
Oh,
yeah.
Go on.
I have a question to pose. This kind of like an interesting discussion, and maybe I kind of want some insight, honestly, from you guys that pay attention to the music industry and have some opinions here. I guess before I pose the question, some context. I'm not trying to like defend Drake specifically here, and like by no means am I trying to take a side specifically on the Drake situation, but how would you guys like perceive the question of originality? Like one example is this discussion of flow, right? Like when you think about like rap, it's kind of, I'm not saying it's limited. There's always going to be new artists that are pushing the bounds, but like there's only X number of flows that you might have, and so many of them have been done in the past, right? So when an artist comes in and like takes inspiration from someone else, or maybe even is directly trying to shout them out, maybe you put the name in the verse or something like that to like give a shout out to the artist who had the original flow or something like that. Or even the other side of it is musical inspiration. Like Drake often works with a lot of different producers, and if the producer is coming from the Caribbean, or if the producer has like some African roots or Latin roots, and Drake is paying that producer to do some work for a song, how do we perceive Drake as the front man of that song, even though the producer actually does have the cultural background or like the knowledge or like the the ability to be making music like that? How would you guys think about that in general?
That's actually a great point. A great point now that you bring it up. But yeah, Brad, go on. I have a point to make.
When it comes to flow, honestly, flow is just the cadence you speak at when it comes to rapping or anything like that. So I do understand that. Yeah, some people have like the boom bap flow. That's more like a New York style, Wu-Tang style. I think even 6ix9ine when he first started out, he kind of had that boom bap style. And Drake, when he first kind of got noticed, he was kind of a prototype sad boy with a lot of his songs. He's talking about
yeah, he kind of came in sing-songy R&B and had a little bit of hard verses, but like that's what Take Care was.
He was a prototype kind of sad boy, and then somebody like hold on, Mo, you go.
Yeah, but like building off of what Brad said, like it's just like Drake's flow, I'm not like impressed, because it's just like he's got the sad boy, like he's kind of whiny in a lot of like some of his music is very whiny, And
Yeah, he
like
likes to
it
go
kind of
fat.
gives me like they really bitchy vibes, and I'm just like, dude, stop being a bitch, man. It's okay. Like, get over your breakup. Get it. You had a bad breakup. Fuck off. Move on. And like on the same, like it's like I am a huge fan of like the frantic style of rap, which is like I've been like, you know, one style of rap is like the frantic style, which is like kind of my style now. Like I'm like kind of tripping off of it, but like the way Meek Mill does it is how I like it. Meek Mill, and now of course Eminem is also slowly moving into that frantic style with Rap God, Godzilla, and like of course he collaborated with Juice World. God bless his soul. I mean Juice WRLD's like music. Oh my god, like Lucid Dreams, guys, come on. Like when I heard Lucid Dreams the first time, I was crossfaded as fuck, and I started tripping. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I legitimately started tripping so fucking hard. Like I was like tripping balls, like that kind of tripping, and I was just like, yo, what the fuck, shit tight. And like because it's just like when you listen to music that is so it hits so close to home, and it's like you're going through the same experiences this person is going through, with a bad breakup, and like you turn to alcoholism and drugs, even though ganja is not considered a drug in many ways, but it's still a gateway drug to like so many other things. And like you're doing it, and then like suddenly there's this artist who comes and he speaks his truth, and he's speaking the truth, even if it is his version of the truth. It really kind of hits hard, and you connect with this. And then on the other end of the spectrum is this motherfucker who's like talking about a sad boy, bitch boy vibes, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, I don't want to listen to your shit. Like, he's got great music, I won't lie.
Do you like shit on him more because he's Drake? You know what I mean? Like he deserves all the shit that he gets, right? But like, is he just someone like you're giving more slack because he's not Drake?
Here's the thing, like I would give him slack for the music and like the producers when they come in and they're like with the tracks and with the beats and stuff, because see, the technical aspect of it, I will never shit on him. But like, dude, he's literally singing in Spanish with Bad Bunny. Now Bad Bunny has this like drawl, like this entire, like he's got this like I don't know his ethnicity, but for me it feels very Juarez Mexican. I don't know his ethnicity again.
Juarez part of that?
What? The Mexican, the entire that Mexican, that full, that gangster chill, that full gangster drawl, the Mexican drawl which they have when they speak Spanish. Yeah, you get what I'm talking about, right? Like it's that entire
slower Spanish than Spain Spanish. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like that. It's like that chill, but at the same time, it's like he's it bangs. It bangs.
It's that suave. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's that that full Rico Suave kind of vibe, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm with that shit. And then Drake comes in, and I'm just like, dude, you literally fucking single-handedly ruined the entire fucking song for me. But God's Plan was a great song, even though I don't know the full lyrics of the song. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, I just love my bed and my mom. I'm sorry. She said, "Do you love me?" But I only. Then I was like, okay, I'm with that. Like it literally just like we used to go clubbing. I remember Brad, me, and like a couple of our boys would go clubbing, and that song would play. And like I just knew the lyrics to that song, and like that's the only portion which I knew. And I was like, okay, that's the only part I would sing, and then I'd just go back to drinking quietly. So that's what I'm talking about. Like I'm okay with the technical aspect of it, like the beats, the flow, the music, the the influences they bring with them, the producers, the kind of influences they bring with them. I'm not about him stealing people's flows. If you're going to steal somebody's flow, give them a motherfucking shout out, dude. The amount of times Eminem has given Dr. Dre, he's so grateful to Dr. Dre. And like if you think about it, literally every song of Eminem has Dr. Dre's mentioned somewhere, be it Real Slim Shady, be it Godzilla also has Dr. Dre in it. And I'm just like, he's so grateful. Like this is the kind of person we're talking about.
Yeah. Like,
and Eminem, look, I mean, if you look at Eminem, he's such a big artist and within his own right. But he still is like one godfather, and that's Dr. Dre. So, that kind of pisses me off when you're like stealing people's shit.
Drake giving that shout out does nothing to him other than like make him more credible, right? So that he's not a thief, and it does everything for the other artists. So like, there's no reason for him not to. So yeah, I would agree with that bottom line. That's what you're saying.
I guess to
Yeah,
continue
that's
where I left off. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mo. But
no. Go on, Pat. Go on.
no, but yeah, it's just when Drake first started out, he was kind of like a prototype sad boy, and he eventually evolved into being kind of having hard songs and very like romantic songs and stuff like that. But I think when people look at Drake, they look at all of his mishaps he's had in a public sphere as well, like messing up with Rihanna or trying to get with J Lo or stuff like that,
Yo,
where he has
I
done
have a
like these
question.
big mess ups like that. So
Can I
when
have
people, I'll let you go quick. So when people are making fun of Drake, they're also thinking about, okay, man, you try to go out Rihanna, but you face bombed. You try going after Weeknd's on and off again girlfriend, but that face bomb. You try to go after J Lo and that kind of face bomb in your face, and it's just funny. Like it's just funny somebody who's that famous and that well known, not being able to get a girl like Rihanna or get a girl like J Lo or Weeknd's girlfriend.
Okay, so I'm really curious. What happened with Drake and Rihanna? I did not follow that entire thing, so I don't know what happened.
Rihanna used him for clout, basically. It was just for clout.
Or like
Nothing
I never
happened
worked.
between them. Rihanna just used him for clout. Just get her songs recognized by fucking Drake.
they made some great songs together though. Like I would not
Yeah,
deny that
they
at
did.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Probably more to the producer and
See, my
Rihanna than to Drake.
Yeah. But I guess to go on with what you were saying about the bringing in producers from different countries, I mean,
Yeah.
are these producers telling Drake, "Hey Drake, I think for this song you should rap in a British accent. Hey Drake, and for this song go in a Jamaican accent or go in a Spanish accent or whatever the case may be," or is that Drake trying to do that himself? I think that's a question we need to ask, because if it's a producer, then okay, fine, the producer's telling Drake to do it. But if it's Drake doing it on his own, then it kind of gets like, okay, man, I don't know how you're trying to do this, but it seems kind of, I'm not gonna. It just seems kind of it just seems kind of weird that you're a half black, half black Canadian person trying to rap in a very British accent or trying to rap in a Jamaican accent or Hispanic, which I understand. Or if you're on a beat or you're on a song with somebody who is of Hispanic descent or is from England or is from Jamaica or is Jamaican, and you're rapping along with them, but why are you trying to copy and mimic their dialect when you're on a song? It just seems kind of off and strange, because we know how you sound. Like we've since 2010, like we know how you normally sound. So it's just so weird hearing Drake, who we hear what he sound like a British person, or sound like somebody trying to impersonate a British person doing it very badly, or somebody trying to impersonate a Jamaican person doing it very badly. And then if you do it badly, that's gonna come off as an insult to other people who are British, who are Jamaican, who are Hispanic,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I mean, in that regard, what about like, just to kind of offer this thought from like an artist perspective? Artists are always trying to stay like fresh and new, right? And like offer like original ideas or like original approaches and shit like that. That's why we've kind of seen, the progression of Drake, even though he always kind of like draws the line with pop, he's always trying to be like somewhat pop. His sound has changed, from Take Care to like God's Plan. Like that sound has obviously changed. And if anything, that might be the reason that he's been on top for like 10 years straight, right? Because like, even though he was on top with some album in like 2012, that same sound in 2020 would not have kept him on top. So he had to change and he had to adapt and he had to keep working with new people. And like, so like where might you say is there like cultural appropriation that's like distasteful, and where might you say it's like him trying to have like new influence? Like I'm not gonna argue this, but like someone might say reggaeton may not have entered mainstream pop if it weren't for like Drake's producers. I'm not gonna make that
That's not true.
But, yeah,
That's
but the same way that you might say like 808s wouldn't have been used in hip hop if Kanye hadn't used them in 808s and Heartbreak. That's probably not true either. But like, there's like, you might at least give that artist some amount of credit for being like a major influence.
No, full power to the guy, but reggaeton existed way before this dude. Like Daddy Yankee literally.
Yeah.
Like reggaeton,
No doubt.
Gasolina. Like when I think about reggaeton, I think about Daddy Yankee's Gasolina and Rompe. Like those are like my two like first.
Think about basic listeners, like the average listener, like probably not listening, like especially like U.S. American. So I know like pop in different countries changes the whole scene a lot, but like American listeners may not have listened to much reggaeton if it weren't for like, what was that song, Passion Fruit by like Drake? Like I don't know, like you know, random pop songs that Drake would try to use those grooves.
No, I do agree with you that maybe Drake's you know, having some producers from different areas with different music backgrounds did help them in their genre they specialized in when it comes to like reggaeton or any other music genre that he might have brought in, quote unquote, to the American public. But like Amok was saying, like a lot of the songs were still there. It's just that Drake put more of a spotlight on it. And I get the fact that as the years progress, you gotta change and adapt to your audience. As your audience grows, you need to grow as well. And Drake has, you know, I think he's told that line here and there. He may have crossed it. Like I said, I think the line comes down to when being insulting. Like I've had some Jamaican friends tell me, like, they don't really like making sounding songs because he's an impersonation of a Jamaican accent. And unfortunately, Drake is he's the biggest artist, I think, in the country right now. And when people think of, you know, one of Drake's, that Jamaican song Drake is on, they're gonna think, oh, all Jamaicans sound like this, you know? Like, unfortunately, that's how some people think. Like, I mean, you look at a lot of black culture, and when it comes to, like, you know, TV shows, a lot of white people think black people are hoods and thug people because black people are put in those roles by casting agents or by the directors, or they write somebody to act quote unquote black. And unfortunately speaking, people see this stuff. They may not have that exposure to that culture, and that's the only thing they sing and recognize, and that's the only thing they'll know. So that's where I draw the line when it comes to Drake. I understand, hey, you got to innovate, you got to change, you always got to push the boundaries when it comes to your sound and your music, but still holding that root or that seed of where you came from. But it's just that sometimes he has crossed that line for some people. Not really. I mean, I listen to Drake here and there. He's not a guy that I'll drop everything and listen to one of his songs. But if an album does drop, I may peer into it, see what I like, what I don't like. But other than that, you know, he's all right for me. He's like a 7 out of 10 for me.
I will say this though, he did make in the zone with he collaborated with The Weeknd, and he made one of the songs called In the Zone in Trilogy, and that song is so good. Like, it's like, of course, Weeknd's lyrics and like his voice is like so fucking trippy, and like, you know, Drake kicks in and he's like you know, well, if I knew if pole dancing was an art, I know so many artists. There'd be so many artists I know. Just walk in, set your sexy ass on the couch, wipe that lipstick off of your mouth, and the way he does it, like his baritone and stuff, it sounds really good. So in like it's like Akhil said, it's like there are moments, like he's had those moments in his life when he's just like, okay, this shit sounds really good. Then that entire bitch boy vibe came in, and he just fucked up my entire mood with that. And then now he's trying to be gangster, and I'm just like, dude, you're not gangster. Like, you're literally from Canada, dude. That's like the least fucking gangster place altogether. Like, he's literally talking about like,
he's on Degrassi, man. What do you mean? You was shot on Degrassi in a wheelchair. He ain't gangster, dog.
It's like, exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I mean.
I think I'm totally with you guys. I mean, from the beginning of this, I definitely wanted to say, like, I'm not trying to be like, yo, Drake is that guy, and like we all need to appreciate what he does for the industry or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, he has his moments, and I think I don't want to paraphrase what you guys are saying, but my bottom line would probably be like, yo, if you're gonna shout out someone's culture, like if you're gonna use someone's culture and like try to make music out of it, you should be shouting out the people who are inspiring you and try to highlight like the realities of those cultures rather than just like your accent or like your like lyrics about something, because he needs to think about like the implications of what he's saying and doing, because it will affect a lot of people. Like, he knows how many people are listening to his shit.